The Pokemon Presents just ended, and we got a massive reveal for the Pokemon TCG. Mega Evolutions are back and not in the way that they used to be. I'm Jeff from InThirdPerson.com. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's check out our first look at the new Mega Evolution cards coming to the Pokemon TCG. First thing to note is that we don't have an official release date. We just have the vague 2025 Mega Evolution is coming. I guess theoretically that could be any time between now and the end of the year. If I had to guess, I think it's going to be from the set after Destined Rivals. Destined Rivals is coming out in May. I'm guessing a set after that is going to be when we get Mega Evolutions, but who knows? I presume that it's going to be after Destined Rivals, but that's just me spitballing. Before we dive into the specific cards, let's talk about this new era of Mega Evolution, because it did work differently in the past, which we'll get to in a sec, but we'll focus on the new stuff first. Mega Lucario EX is our first look here, and we can see that it just evolves from a regular Riolu. We don't need any sort of special Riolu. We don't have some sort of big basic Lucario to evolve into. We just go from your regular Riolu, and then we go into Mega Lucario EX. Another major mechanic for Mega Evolution EX is that these Mega Evolutions drop 3 prize cards, kind of making them like VMAX Pokemon and Tag Team Pokemon of the past. Those two factors are quite different from what we had with Mega Evolutions in the past. For one, Mega Charizard EX here evolved from Charizard EX. So we're not stacking EXs on top of EXs in the new era. We are evolving up from the single prize Pokemon before it and then going into the Mega Evolution. And then on top of that, the new Mega Evolution EX rule where these Pokemon drop 3 prizes. The old Mega Evolutions only drop 2 prizes, but your turn ended when you evolved into the Mega Evolution. This was a huge problem in the game back in the day, or so I was told, where they tried to fix it with Spirit Link. So I've got a picture of Lucario Spirit Link on the right, where this tool card negated that EX, that Mega Evolution rule, so that you could continue your turn after you Mega Evolved. We don't have to worry about that with this new era of Mega Evolutions, but we drop 3 prize cards instead. Now let's look at the first Mega Evolution we saw in the presentation, and that is Mega Lucario EX. This is a stage 1 fighting type Pokemon with 340 HP. This is a stage 1 Pokemon tied with the highest HP we'd ever seen in the cards before. So stage 1, that begs the question of what do the stage 2s look like? And thankfully we do have an answer for that, but we'll get to that in a sec. We do have 2 huge attacks here. Aura Jab for only 1 fighting energy does 130 damage and attach up to 3 basic fighting energy cards from your discard pile to your benched Pokemon in any way you like. This is incredible energy acceleration. 3 fighting energy for only 1 energy. That's awesome, and it doesn't specify that it has to be fighting Pokemon either, so we can use this as an energy accelerator to theoretically anything. And with Lucario only needing 1 energy while also swinging for 130 damage, you're knocking out a lot of basic evolution Pokemon, even knocking out a lot of stage 1s as well with that sort of damage, or doing a sizable chunk of damage on your multi-prize Pokemon as well, while accelerating a ton of energy to the bench. The big trade-off here potentially is that in a format without cards like Radiant Greninja, getting the energy in the discard pile early on in the game might be a bit tricky, but I think that it's worth the trouble trying to figure it out, because 3 energy to the bench while also swinging for 130 damage is awesome. And then its second attack, Mega Brave, for 2 fighting energy does 270 damage, and during your next turn, this Pokemon can't use Mega Brave. 270 damage is a massive number. We're knocking out every big basic in the game. We are also knocking out a lot of the stage 1 EX Pokemon before any sort of damage modifiers. And it sucks there'll be Pokemon that you can't knock out with Mega Brave, but then you go into the Aura Jab, and at that point you're 2-shotting everything while also accelerating a ton of energy to the bench. And if you did Aura Jab the first time around, swinging for 270 is going to be like 400 damage, and you're 2-shotting everything in the game from there. I think this card looks awesome. We also have Mega Gardevoir EX, Psychic type Pokemon, and the big note here, 360 HP. This is the new record for HP on a Pokemon that we've ever seen. And Gardevoir is usually one of the squishier Stage 2 Pokemon, so I have to assume that there will be other Stage 2 EXs that are Mega Evolutions that are going to have even more HP than that. So really big change to the game and our breakpoints, and let's see what happens to the math going forward. And even with that Lucario card that we were just talking about, maybe those numbers are a bit skewed if the format ends up becoming overrun with Mega Evolution Pokemon. We'll have to wait and see on that. But let's go back to Gardevoir here. Overflowing Wishes for only 1 Psychic Energy allows you to attach a basic Psychic Energy card to all of your benched Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. And it's also worth noting here that you don't necessarily have to have Psychic Pokemon that you're attaching to. So that is a difference from, say, Gardevoir EX. You can attach your Psychic Energy to the Pheasantipity and the Squawkabilly, whatever Pokemon. I have no idea how we're building around this just yet. But that's all in service of the second attack, Mega Symphonia, where for 1 Psychic Energy, you're doing 50 damage for each Psychic Energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So if you've got it attached to a regular bench of 5 Pokemon, you're swinging for 250 damage. But if we've got Area 0 Underdepths in play and we have 8 Pokemon on the bench, all of a sudden, this is doing 400 damage. That is going to be enough to one-hit KO presumably everything in the game. As we know, there might be some Stage 2 Mega Evolution EXs that are near or above that number, or maybe with damage modifiers like Hero's Cape or something, it might not knock out the absolute limit of Pokemon, but this is an absolutely ridiculous attack. And yes, you're gonna have to potentially play that Overflowing Wishes attack, and you're sacrificing damage in that initial turn in order to do mega damage with this next one, but there's a lot of potential here. And yes, you could play this with Gardevoir EX, where instead of using that first attack, you could just use the Gardevoir ability to attach to all of those other Pokemon and then swing for Mega Symphonia. And that also implies that you have to have all that energy from the discard pile in order to use the regular Gardevoir, versus this one where you actually get to search the energy out from the deck. One more card we have to talk about here. I don't think this one was in the presentation, but PokeBeach does have it in their article. So let's go and talk about it here. Premium Power Pro is an item card where during this turn, attacks used by your fighting Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. We saw this card, a variation of this card, not that long ago with Mew VMAX, where it had power tablets that would boost your damage by 30 for each item card you played. And one of the big benefits of this is that you can stack this. So if you played all 4 in one go, you are getting plus 120 damage in one turn. And when you think about this with that Lucario EX, this looks absolutely incredible. And what an amazing boost for fighting Pokemon all the way around, especially that Mega Lucario EX. These cards look busted. I love the changes that Pokemon have made from the old Mega Evolutions where we don't end our turn. I'm glad that's gone. Evolving up from our single prize Pokemon is great as well. I'm not so sure how I feel about 3 prizes. We just got out of the VMAX meta, and there are pros and cons to having 3 prize Pokemon in the game. But at the same time, if we are following the timeline of the games and we have to introduce Mega Evolutions because of Pokemon Legends ZA, which also got revealed, ZA, sorry for our American viewers here, they have to be something bigger than the EX Pokemon we have right now. And if we don't want to end turn, then I guess the next best thing is 3 prizes. But in exchange for 3 prizes, you're getting some incredible attacks and some really high HP Pokemon. I'm very excited to see where this mechanic goes from here. But for now, I gotta get going. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about the return of Mega Evolution Pokemon. In the meantime, you can find me on all the things: YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at InThirdPerson. You can find me on Twitch at InThirdPerson, where I stream the Pokemon trading card game every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And check out the website, inthirdperson.com, for more articles and videos on video games, board games, and other nerdy pursuits. So until the next one, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.